All right. LDBC is your boy, the Coach Live, on the Coach Show, the Coach Show Live. Okay, folks. I had a long-term subscriber ask me to, give my thoughts on something he asked me, and what he asked me, he says, he's been subscribed to me for 12 years, and he said, Coach, I'm a white guy. He said, but what I want you to do is tell me your thoughts, or, this is what he said. He said, I'm a white guy, but what do you think the unaliving of Charlie Kirk taught the world? Okay, so let's go ahead and get into that, okay? In my mind, what do I think the unaliving of Charlie Kirk taught the world? Well, first of all, I had a teeny tiny bit of respect for Charlie Kirk. Now, I know some of y'all not going to like this, and that's okay. I had a teeny tiny respect, a little bit of respect for Charlie Kirk. Just a little bit. Okay? Reason why I had any respect, I'm talking about an ounce of it, is because Charlie Kirk told you exactly who he was. He told you who he was. He didn't sugarcoat who he was. He pretty much told you, look, this is what I think about black people, and that's my stance, and if you want to come prove me wrong, come prove me wrong. He gave you an open invitation, okay, to a debate. Okay, the man gave you an open invitation. Pretty much told you, look, if you want to prove me wrong, come prove me wrong. Okay, I give you permission. Okay, you can come to my debate table. Okay, and you can try as hard as you can to prove me wrong. Okay, the man to me didn't like black folks. Okay, I'm just saying, that's my take on it. I didn't like him, but I had some respect for that aspect of, his whole little, whatever he was doing. I had a little bit of respect for that because he told you who he was. He didn't hide the fact that he was a racist. He didn't hide that at all. He let you know up front. And see, when somebody is a racist, I'd much rather them just come out and say it than, trying to hide behind, trying to be politically correct. Just say you're racist. Because I can choose not to F with you or not. And when I figured out that that's what Charlie Kirk was, I just chose not to F with him. Now, do I condone what happened to him? I mean, no. That's stupid. To kill somebody over their opinion. To kill somebody over their talking point. That's just stupid. Okay? And if we got to go through the world like that, killing people and offing people because they feel a certain way, then, where's free speech? Where's free speech? Because, Charlie Kirk would have approved of this message. He'd approved of it because he was a big proponent of free speech. People losing their jobs because they didn't like Charlie Kirk. Charlie Kirk would have disagreed with that. Y'all know that. People getting canceled. He would have disagreed with that because he was a big proponent of people being able to speak their mind, no matter what. Charlie Kirk didn't care if people didn't like him. He didn't care. Charlie Kirk didn't care if people had different views than him. He didn't care. Okay, people getting canceled, he wouldn't have wanted that. Okay? If you really, really want to be truthful, and I'm putting you back, a lot of you people that love Charlie Kirk, I'm putting you back into his talking points. The man would not have liked people being canceled because of their views. Nope, he was not big on that. So, y'all got to miss me with that. The people, hating on Charlie Kirk and, people making fun of him. I'm not one of them people I'm not coming online to make fun of the guy, man. Because what happened to him, it shouldn't have happened, man. He should be allowed to speak his piece or whatever he got to say. But that was the democracy that America was built on, right? You have the right to free speech. Okay? And Charlie Kirk also understood that you have the right to free speech, but, you don't have the right to, feel some kind of way when people don't agree with the free speech that you're putting out there. Right? That's just what it is. You don't have the right to be upset when people disagree with the free speech that you're putting out there. Okay, so now let's go ahead and talk. A big, big talking point for a lot of right-wing MAGA conservatives. One of the big talking points that I see that they love to say, and let's just get right on this, okay? And Charlie Kirk said this too. 13% of the population, or what? Like some 55% of the crimes, or I don't know, 80% of the crimes. You hear these far right-wing MAGA conservatives, they say this stuff. But they never ever tell you that black folks are 55% of the exonerations. See, when you start hitting them with stuff like that, then they'll say, well, yeah, but where you getting your facts from? Well, I'm getting my facts from the FBI website. I mean, where you getting your facts from? If we can't believe the FBI website, then I don't know who we gonna believe. Okay? If we can't believe the darn feds, then who we gonna believe? Okay? I got it up. 55% of the exonerations. Black people are 55% of the exonerations. Or, they'll come up and these talking points are, black on black crime. Black on black crime. Okay, listen. You're not going to get a peep out of me when you talk about black on black crime. I mean, I'm not going to be like, oh, man, you can't criticize black folk. You can't do that. You can. Because, yes, some of his talking points about black on black crime is pretty accurate. Blacks kill blacks at a high rate. But they forget to tell you that whites kill whites at a high rate. They forget to tell you that Asians kill Asians at a high rate. They forget to tell you that Latinos kill Latinos at a high rate. I mean, they don't want to tell you that. See, they don't tell you that because they always want this narrative that black folks are the only degenerates in America, right? That just one race, the black race, got all the degenerates. But you got these people running around here doing all this crazy stuff. But, white on white crime, black on black crime, Asian on Asian, it don't matter, Muslim on Muslim. Do y'all know that the numbers are almost damn near identical? Because, think about it. Like, guys, and it's really just simple. If you live around somebody, people that look like you, right? You live around people who look like you, right? Okay, more than likely, you're in that same community, you're going to commit crimes. You're going to commit crimes against people who look like you because you're around people who look like you. Guys, this is not some deep revelation. This ain't some deep revelation that I'm telling y'all. Folks, this is common sense. I'm not giving you some deep revelation. No. Now, listen to 78 Sports TV. He had a Patreon, and he was talking about, like, black folks that turn over and become anti-black. Well, he was kind of saying it, but in terms of Shannon Sharp. So I'm going to put it in terms of this whole, thing with Charlie Kirk, the MAGA movement. When you have black folks that go to deep right, I'm talking about go to deep MAGA right, you kind of, there's a reason why. And 78 to me was spot on. That these people were victims of bullying, okay, by people in their own community. They were victims of black bullying. So, you had the black person bullying you about your race, about your skin tone. You had the black person bullying you about your vernacular because you talk proper. Okay, you had the black person bullying you because you were smart. Okay, see, so all of that stuff play out, and then over time, you just, even though you become a success, you remember that because you were traumatized as a kid. And a lot of these far-right people, they were traumatized. And so now, anything that happened in the black community, they're not wrong about it, but they just turn a blind eye to anything not in the black community. They turn a blind eye. And that's what a lot of the far-right do. That's what they do. When I was in school, and I tell people this story all the time, when I was in school, blacks most of the time roasted other black folk. Okay, that's just what it was. Whites, believe it or not, made fun of other white people. Now, they made fun and roasted, but then, the white folks in my school, they took it to a whole nother level, man. I'm talking about they was pranking people that looked like them, like putting stuff in their locker. I'll never forget this, man, when I played football. And, it was about, we had a pretty good mix of white and black people on the team. And so it was this white dude, man. He didn't really talk much, man. He didn't talk much at all. But do you guys know that they pranked him, man? They took a dump in his locker. They put shit in this boy locker. Folks, I kid y'all not. Now, they didn't go and prank the other black dudes on the team. They didn't do that. But they took a shit and put it in this boy locker. And I'll never forget, the kids call it crashing out. I'll never forget this dude crashed out. And we saw him do it. And, man, this man ran. He tore up the locker room to me who did it. I said, man, look here, man. I said, don't come over here because ain't nobody do it. Hey, we ain't do it. We don't even know you like that to be doing it. And then, so, he started figuring out. And when he figured out, guess what happened? He figured out who did it. Oh, it was a fight. Oh, they fought. Okay, I'm talking about fight. Hey, but guess what? It was white on white. So, I mean, I'm telling you guys this because black people are not the only degenerates that's got degenerates in their community. Every race got degenerates in their damn community. But the far right and MAGA, man, they'll try to have you believe that the only people that's making mistakes and effing up are black people. They'll try to have you believe that, which that's not true. See, I don't mind you criticizing black people. Okay, fine. I do it. But if that's all you criticize, when you see all this other stuff going on out here, now I know you're a racist. Now I know you're anti-black. See, that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying we can't criticize the black community. We can't do it. No, I'm not saying that. Of course. When people do something stupid, you do, like, why not criticize everybody that's doing something stupid? No, but the only vitriol we have is for the black community. See, and another term that people, Charlie Kirk and some of his constituents, they used to use, they use a term called black fatigue. Y'all have heard that, where, I'm sick of the degenerate behavior of black people. That's what it is. That's what they call it. Okay? Black fatigue. Okay, fine. I get it. If we sick and tired of black fatigue, then what's this? What about this? Now, what kind of fatigue can we call this? Y'all tell me, what kind of fatigue can we call this? Because I see a lot of these folks, they trying to get into the Capitol. They got into the Capitol and they put shit on the walls, y'all. These people went in the Capitol. These folks ran in the Capitol and put shit on the wall. How you gonna explain this? Okay, this degenerate behavior. Okay, folks, think about it. Think about it. These folk, they ran up here on Capitol Hill. They tried to hang Mike Pence. These folks are degenerates. They savages. They went right up in here. And let me just tell you, it wasn't black folk that initiated this one. It wasn't black folk that initiated this one right here. It just wasn't. You ain't got a leg to stand on, far right black magazine. It's just, you can't, y'all. There's nothing you can do about this one. I mean, seriously. But yeah, y'all say y'all got black fatigue. Okay, got it. If we are so sick and tired of black fatigue, what are y'all gonna say about this? I know y'all remember this boy, Stephen Patty. The man went to Vegas, got himself a room, and this man had a semi-automatic weapon. The man up there popping folks from that hotel room, and he popping folks that look just like him. How you gonna explain it? How you gonna explain that? This man out here popping people looking just like him. Ain't nothing you can say about that. I mean, you got to say something about this. And I know that you guys, you love this country the way you love this country. I know you do. I know that you're going to say something about Stephen Patty popping all them folks. And I know y'all can't just say that it's just a black on black thing. I know you're not going to say this. If we tired of black fatigue, how about this? Tyler Robinson. I mean, just recently, a little over a month ago, the man went out there and he popped Charlie Kirk. He popped him. I know y'all got something to say about this. I know you do. You got to say something about this. You can't let this go. You cannot let this go. If you let this go, I already know. But if you let it go and go back to talking about black on black crime, I know for a fact that you got something against black folks. I know it. Because you cannot talk about this. I mean, you can't talk about black on black crime and not talk about this. You can't do it. There's just no way. Okay, it is impossible to talk about what black folks is doing. Okay, if you can't even fix your mouth to talk about this right here, how you gonna explain this? How you gonna explain this? Okay, if we are so tired of black fatigue, we sick and tired. I know. Some of y'all You say you're tired of the way black people act in public. You're sick of it. What about this? Now, I know for a fact you got to do something about this Kyle Rittenhouse. You got to do something about this boy Kyle Rittenhouse. You got to do something about him. I mean, this boy went to a peaceful protest and started popping folks. I'm talking about start popping folks left and right. And guess what? Guess what y'all did, MAGA? Then y'all gave this boy, after this boy done murdered somebody, went up there and popped somebody, popped them clean. Y'all gave this boy $2.6 million. Y'all turned this boy into a celebrity. This boy is a millionaire now. Far right MAGA, you made the guy a millionaire. You gave him $2.6 million. How are you going to explain this one? Because if you talk about black fatigue, then you got to say something about, you can't talk about black fatigue without talking about Kyle Rittenhouse. You just can't. You can't do it. You cannot do this. If we sick of black fatigue, I know we sick of this. Okay? Dylan Roof. Now the reason why, I'm going to tell you, boy, the reason why, boy, with Dylan Roof, y'all literally gave Dylan Roof a damn pass. But y'all know why y'all did that. Because Dylan Roof was up there. And what Dylan Roof did, he went to a church full of church folk up in there praising God and meditating on God's word. The man went up in there popping church folk. He went up there popping them church folk. They took the boy out to Burger King, got him a hamburger, got him a Whopper. They gave the boy Burger King after popping them church folk up in there. And y'all know why y'all gave him a pass, because the church folk up in the church were black folk. And black folk in that church were doing what they doing. They talking about the Lord, but you gave him a pass because he went up in that church and popped those church folk. And let's do an honorable mention. If you are tired of black fatigue, then what about that boy that went to Michigan, up in Michigan, went in that church and popped all them church folk up in there? Now, he went up in there and he popped all them church folk. And these are people that look just like him. And he popped them all. How y'all going to explain any of this, y'all? How you going to explain it? Folks, come on. How are you going to explain this? You got to, you got to say something. You can't let this go. I know that all of you, I know you love this country because you say you true patriots, you true Americans, and you believe in a democracy of America, but you can't. You cannot let this go. If you let this go, then, I don't know. Okay, if you're talking black fatigue, dang it, you got to talk about all this other stuff. So what kind of fatigue do we call that?